and welcome to today's In the Moment card class. My name is Julie Kettlewell and I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm based in the UK, and my little business is called The Paper Haven. So I do hope you will join me and you will stay on board with me this morning while I share 3 lovely cards with you using this gorgeous stamp set from the January to June 2022 mini catalogue. This is the UK copy, and the stamp set I'm using is on page 57, and it's called In the Moment. And we are going to use all 3 of these lovely images today and practice our colouring in skills with the stamping blends. It's quite funny, we got this stamp set included in an event, a virtual event we did with Stampin' Up last November. I think it was November, yeah. And when the boxes started to arrive, I got quite a few messages from people saying, oh, that stamp set's right up your street. I thought of you when I saw it. So that was rather nice. And I've really enjoyed it. But this is the first class I've done with it. So thank you to the ladies who have taken part. If you haven't and you'd like to purchase the stamp set, then I will list the supplies that I've used in the description of this video. And if you're not already subscribing, please hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon and click all, and you will get notifications of when I am live. So what I'm going to do, this is going to be 3 separate videos. We're doing 3 cards. This one has gone up at 10:30 in the UK, 10:30 in the morning. So we are going to make this card here, or as card number 1, or I do have an alternative one here. Okay, now I did put a little shout out on my social media with these pictures of these circles, asking which image people preferred, because I have done some masking here, which I'm going to go through. This one, I used blending brushes. Now, the problem is, I think I've been too organised and I've taken my blending brushes back to my workplace where, excuse me, oh, I got the sneezes, where most of my craft stuff is. I cannot find them at home. I washed them and did a reel washing them, put it on my Instagram, and I think I've put them in my box to take back. This one, so we'll have to improvise, or I'll have to have no sky and sea. That's fine. This one was using a lovely new stamp set called Ocean Front, and I will show you that. It's also in the mini, and it's one that you could have missed. You could have thought, oh, I don't need that one, but it is a beautiful, beautiful stamp set. And this is it. There's no greetings on it. So this one is what I've used for the sky here, and then I've used this one for the sea. And you can build up these gorgeous scenes with it. It works really nice with the New Horizons as well. Now, I am doing a class with this. Well, I say class, it's a course starting in April. And it's aimed at beginners, but you don't have to be a beginner. And it's 5 Monday evenings, an hour each. There will be pre-recorded videos, but I will be online to chat. And we're going to be doing some lovely cards with the Oceanfront stamp set. And you do get a free sentiment greeting stamp set included too. So check out my website for that. So that's how I've done that one. I've done some paper piecing of the t-shirt here as well. And this one I've torn. So the card layouts are the same, but I've torn this one and I've added some ribbon. So you're going to have options. So let's see what you've got in your pack. So you've got a quarter of a pack of the Sweet Symmetry papers, and you've got your envelopes for today. Okay, so these are really lovely papers, and I think they work well with this suite. So I'm just looking at the ones that I want to use. And I want to use this one for my background. And I want to use that one as well. Oh, and I also need this one for her t-shirt. Okay, you also will have your 3 card packs. Yours will be stuck up really nicely with a sticker. So in the card pack for card number 1, I have put you 1 card base, because we are just making 1 card, even though I've given you 2 options. 1 card base, but I have given you 2 circle die cuts in case you have any problems or make a mistake, or if you want to do 2 cards and you want to grab a piece of white that you might have in your stock to make another card. I've also included a thin piece of basic white for the stamp image there, but it's double the length that you would need, and that's about 1 centimetre in width. Actually, I think it's 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I have got some scrap paper here, which I'm going to use. It's smaller than my work desk. Okay. So, first things first, let's cut our papers down. Or should we do some stamping? Let's do some stamping. Let's do some stamping. Yeah. So, these images are on a red rubber stamp set. Okay, and I don't know if I have mounted all mine. I haven't. So, I'm going to grab the You're in My Thoughts greeting, and I'm going to grab the image of the girl looking out into the sea, and I'm going to take that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is firstly show you how to put the sticker on the back of your stamp. As you can see, Julie's very naughty, and I haven't done this on any of these stamps. So you go for the shiny side and you peel that in two. You take the backing off this and then you pop it on. It should fit perfectly. Like that. Then you've got it on the back there. I'll do the same with the, now when you're putting a greeting stamp on, please make sure you've got it the right way up. There we go. They are very, very sticky. Okay. So this does fit, this one does fit on block D. I'm sure it's block D. Yep, block D. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use basic grey. You need to use, I'm using the Stampin' Blends, so you need to use a water-based ink for your stamping your image, and I like to use a grey rather than the black. I'm getting into using the basic grey. So I'm going to stamp this now. I don't want it right at the top because can you see part of the skirt's cut out, so we'll have a gap. So I want to bring it down to the bottom like this. Okay, and we get that then, yeah. It doesn't really matter because the skirt does stop. You won't see the cutout, but I prefer to have some of the sky. I want to see some of the sky, yeah. Hope that makes sense. Also, the higher up you put it, the sort of banister railing will stop as well. So by doing it down there, you don't suddenly, it just sort of gradually fades out there. So there we have our image, okay? And now what I've done to do the masking, I've made a mask. Now what is a mask? We're all fed up of masks, aren't we? But what it is, I've stamped this again on some scrap paper. And I've cut it out very close to the line, on the line almost of the image. And I have cut up these bits as well, and I have even, there's just a tiny bit there, I've not done it, I thought it was too small. I've even gone in there with my scissors and I've cut that out. And this is to stick over here like this. Now you could do this on a post-it note, but I find, I'm going to open a new glue, it might be a bit noisy. I find using my multi-purpose glue works a treat. So what I'm going to do is pop a couple of little dots in strategic places near edges and small parts. Okay, like that. Oops, sorry about that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dab it off with my finger. I'm just going to do this off the white paper because I don't want to get my paper all stuck up. So I'm just dabbing it off with my finger. And I'm taking most of the sticky off. Okay, so it is still tacky, but it's not going to glue down permanently. Fingers crossed. But it's strong enough to hold in place for us to do some inking. Okay, now this is where you can get your lovely blending brushes, or if you've got the oceanfront stamp set, or any watercolour shape, you could do your background there like that. So we're sticking it right on top of what we've stamped. Now all I have, oops, I need to put my scissors. Looks like Pac-Man, is I've got some sponge at home, a sponge. So I'm going to cut a piece off and try and achieve the same. Oh, actually, hang on. I could be saved. I found a pack of sponge daubers, so let's try some sponge daubers. Because they're a bit smaller, so let's do it with sponge daubers, and then we've got all three. Yeah. Now, if you don't have these inks, or if you don't want to do this, then that's fine. So I'm going to use Pool Party, and I'm going to use, sorry, I just need to get rid of a WhatsApp. I'm going to use Pool Party, and I'm going to use Balmy Blue. Just grab them out of my box. Okay, see how this is with the sponge daubers. It could be disaster, but we can have a go. So, I'm going to take some ink. Right, I'm going to dab some ink on there. And then rub. Start on the image, but then rub. Rub outwards. Now, the motto with these is you can always add more ink, but you can't really take away. Yeah. Saved by the sponge daubers. Just be careful with that wine glass. Like real life, be careful with your wine glass. And it's up to you where you want to start the sea. I suppose it depends how far in the distance it is. I'm going to probably start it. Maybe line it up with her elbow. Yeah, I think that will do me. Okay, so that was a sponge dauber. And then Balmy Blue. I'm going to take that and then go out here. There's only you don't need a lot here because you've not a lot of sea to do really. Just be careful in between the balustrading and here in between her arm. I'm going to go a bit, I'm going to press on a bit deeper with this one actually. Okay, there we go. So, the moment of truth now is to peel this off very carefully and hope it hasn't stuck down. Ta-da! What do we think? Now, if you want to add a bit more up here, you can do that, and you don't really need to put the mask back on because you're not going to really... If you want to just... There we go. So there we go. There we have our lovely, lovely background. Right, shall we do some colouring? I am going to be using Balmy Blue. So I'm going to use Balmy Blue for the hat and for the skirt, for a skirt. And then I'm going to use pale flirty flamingo for the wine. Let's pretend it's some rosé in a glass there. So there's no point blending that, I don't think. Just use the light coloured blend in there. Okay. And then for the, well, let's just concentrate on the first one. So I'm going to go with the darker balmy blue and go over the line, the rim and that line there. And then I'm going to take the light one so we've got a nice pale blue hat. And if you want to go back over, like that, you can get a bit more depth and dimension. Maybe I could zoom in a little bit now. Okay, there we go. Is that better? Now what you could do, if you, and I would suggest, if you have got this stamp set, I would invest in the Misty Moonlight blends before they go, because you can make a bit of a darker denim. Yeah, that's like a pale wash, ice wash colour. If you want a more of a stone wash, a bit of a darker denim, then I'm going to use the light Misty Moonlight. I find the dark one too dark, and I'm going to go over the belt there, and I'm going to go down on the little lines there and at the side. Now, if you've only got balmy blue, which is what all I told you for blues, that's fine. Do the same as we did on the hat. But then I'm going to go, you can mix your colours. So I'm going to use light Misty Moonlight with dark balmy blue. I'm going to go over. Like that. So can you see it creates a bit of a darker denim? I'm just going to go back. There we go. I just realised I've got my lovely cappuccino and I've not had any of it yet. Look at that, and one of my new cups. Just the right temperature. Glad I've not left it any longer. Okay, so that's that done. Now I am going to use my new skin tone blends, and I'm going to use the medium light. They come in a pack of 2. They have numbers on the side. So you want to use the darker one, which is 700 first. And I'm going to do a little bit darker the top of her arms there. And sort of, you've got to think of the shadow of a t-shirt on her arm. Yeah, so a little bit darker there. And then go in with the lighter one. This is only the 3rd time I've used these, and I have to say, if you've got any stamps that have people on, they are brilliant, because before we've just been using the ivory and not doing any blending or the bronze. Okay, that's looking good. I'm going to put those to one side. And then I'm going to colour her hair in, and I'm going to use these are, oh man, deep, medium deep. I don't think I'm going to blend. I'm just going to see which one this one is. I'm going to use this one. It's, if you've got them, it's number 300. If you want your lady to have blonde hair, then use, I would maybe use So Saffron if you've got that. There we go. I'm not doing any blending there. And then I might actually use that one. No, I won't use that one. I'll use the one that I did for the arms. Or I could use soft suede. That's too light. I use soft suede for the banister. Oh, that's a bit dark, but never mind. Picked up the wrong one. This is dark soft suede. I meant to pick up light. Oh, I've just also spotted a bit that I've not cut out on the mask. So what you need to do if you're really picky is I'm going to grab my light pool party blend and I'm just going to do a little bit there and there. Oh, it's balmy blue. Oh, silly me. You've got balmy blue in that you needed for the class, so that's fine. There we go. Brilliant. So now all we need to do is to do the t-shirt. And I'm going to show you how to do this. You can colour it in if you want, but what we're going to do is we're going to re-ink up the image of the lady, but we only really need part of it, and you'd be worried about wasting with this, but actually let me show you probably oh, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. Hang on. I've picked out the wrong one. It's this one that I want. So I've had a little idea to waste less paper. What you could do is, it's about 1 inch deep is the t-shirt, so just chop about 1 inch off, maybe a little bit more. Something like that, yeah. So rather than stamping all that onto the paper and wasting it, we can ink it up like this. Yeah, this is a top tip. Okay, and then I'm going to lay this over and press down. It's a bit messier. You're probably going to get inky fingers. But can you see, we've only used a little scrap of paper. So that's a top tip for you, yeah? I've got a WhatsApp, just get rid of that off my screen. It's distracting me. Okay, and what I'm going to do now is cut this out on the pattern. Not on the pattern. I'm just going to cut it out so you can, I'm right on the line of the image. It is a bit tricky cutting around her hair. I will admit that it is a little bit tricky. So try your best and then we'll see how it goes when we put it together. So I've cut that out. Can you see there, the little t-shirt? And that's going to go on there like that. Now, if you've got a little bit of a gap left where you've coloured and you've cut, go back in and just come a bit further down with the pen. And then we'll go back. Yeah, and then that looks better, doesn't it? Yep. Now what I would do for this is I would put the glue on here rather than on the t-shirt, because it's quite small. I would take that there. Now, as I say, if you don't like this, how that is, then you can just colour it in with your blends. You know, the pink Flirty Flamingo would look nice. But there we have the image. Let me zoom back out. Hang on. There we go. I think that's where I was before. Yeah, let me see that. So now we need to make our card. So I am going to use the piece of Flirty Flamingo and I'm going to cut this to 10 centimetres by 14.3. Okay, and then the other piece, I'm using this piece. I might have to measure my lovely piece that because I've forgotten. 9 by 10. So it's not quite the width of the card. So I'm going to do it 9 by 10. Okay, so I can glue this down onto my card base. There we go. I do love that pattern. And I want it so I've got this like gap here. Don't know if there's a definite way up. That's probably the right way up, and I've probably done it wrong. I don't know if it looks right that way up. What do we think? I don't think it matters, does it? So I am going to do the torn one on here, I think. So I'm just going to tear it a little bit off so you see the white. And a lot of people don't like this, so I've given you the option. Yeah. And that's going to stick on there like that. And I'm going to just check that that gap is the same as that one there. Okay. And then our image is going to sit here like this in the middle. And I'm going to use some foam pads, some dimensionals. I love when you see the back of it and it's leaked through a little bit. That is normal. Okay. And finally, then, all we need to do is stamp our greeting. You're in my thoughts. And I think that's nice because she's looking out. Let's see. You're in my thoughts. And I'm going to stamp it over here. Oh, I've got a bit of ghost in there. Got a bit of excess ink, but we'll see how we go. It's a bit skewy, but never mind. And I'm going to cut that off like that. And I think I will... Should I use the ribbon? Yeah, let's use some ribbon. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to leave... What I would have done is, if I'm not doing ribbon, I would have cut that on a similar angle. So it's like a parallelogram. And I'm going to stick this here. I'm going to use some more dimensionals. And it should just have the right width. So they will sit there like that. Probably need a small one under there. One of the edges ones. That's gonna go like that. And then if you want to include the ribbon, this is from the annual catalogue, the main book. You can do a loop and then another loop, cross them over each other, push the one on the right through the hole, round the back, let that tail flick over, and then tie yourself a little bow like that. Oh, and that can sit, I've allowed you plenty of ribbon there, and that can sit there like that. Now if you're going to glue this on, glue dots would probably be the best option for you. My scissors at home are not particularly sharp. Yeah, glue dots would probably be the best option. Just sort that out. That bow is not my best ever bow. But anyway. But what you could do is, this is what I did on my other card, was pop a bit of glue on it, and it did actually stick. It's not my best bow, it's not my best one. Let's see what it looks like on the screen. Move all the debris. Okay, so there's card one, card one, card one. Or if you don't want the ribbon on and that you don't want the tearing, it can be like that. There are all three different ones. So this one was with the ocean front background. This one is with the blending brushes. And this one is with the sponge daubers. And they've all got a little bit of a different look to them. But all lovely and nice. I'm sure you'll hopefully will agree. That's been just over half an hour, that video. So I will pop the next tutorial up at 11:15 for anybody watching live in the UK. 11:15. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed that, and I will look forward to seeing you at 11:15. Thank you. Bye.